Chandrakant Gupta. I set my target in life so that I may live freely without bondages or others' controls. That's my life goal, to free myself from all current bondages so that I may have a life of my own. In the process of achieving my financial targets, sometimes I succeed and greed increases. But there is a constant fear of losing. I think if I try constantly without fear of losing, I can achieve my target fast. How can I be free from the fear of losing as if everything is on that stake? You're saying you want to set targets, you want to chase them, you want to keep pinning your hopes on your dreams, you want to keep winning, and you want to do all this without the fear of losing. You're asking for the impossible. The fundamental law of duality is where there is hope, there is bound to be fear. The one who wants to win would also keep getting thoughts of losing. In fact, the more desperately you want to win, the more you feel that your existence is contingent upon your achievements and victories, the more you will be afraid of losing. You cannot have one without the other. In fact, all fear is related to desire. If you are not desirous of something, if you are not attached to something, you cannot be afraid. And what you are asking is, I want to be desirous, I want to be attached, I want to be a winner, and I want all this without fear. Now I'm asking you to choose. What is it that matters more to you? Your victories or freedom from fear?
I think that freedom from fear will give the victory. So these are the minimum.
Freedom from fear does not give you the victory. Freedom from fear is the victory. You have started off your question by saying that freedom from bondage is what your life goal is. There is no bondage except fear. Look into it. There is just no bondage except fear. And if your quest for freedom plunges you deeper into fear, then what kind of freedom are you pursuing? And that's the case with so many people. You want to get rid of something, and in your attempts to get rid of that thing, you find that the attempts themselves are bringing more of the same thing to you. Here you have a poster, the last one here. Please read what it says.
What you collect builds security, makes you lower insecure.
What does that mean? What does that mean? That which you do to get freedom from your bondage only adds to your bondage. Your assumption that your action can lead to your freedom is the fundamental bondage. Your assumption that you are the doer and that you will be the agent of your emancipation is the bondage. You cannot stop by running harder, but that's the concept that the target driven mind has. The target driven mind says, let me run harder and harder so that I reach my destination. And when I reach my destination, I'll stop. So, in order to stop, it runs even harder. In order to have security, it collects even more insecurity. Are your financial goals really so important that you want to sacrifice your life for them? How much money do you really need? And what if you do not get that money? Do you ever ask yourself this question? How much do you really need? And how much of that which you earn and collect and save is just because of psychological insecurity? You understand the difference between these two, right? Real survival needs, such needs that would impede your basic peace as a person, and psychological needs. Real needs come to a full stop very soon. Psychological needs never end because they are always comparative, relative. You do not look at yourself, you look at yourself in relation to the others, in relation to the society. How am I doing with respect to the others? In doing this, do you ever see what is it that you are forsaking? You see what you have gained. Do you also really keep stock of what you have compromised? Do you know what you compromise on? It's just that what you get is tangible, and that which you give up is subtle, intangible. So you don't even notice that you have been robbed and looted. The thief comes and gives you large stones and rocks and boulders, and they are large. They look big, and you are happy because your senses can only look at the tangible. It's a large rock that you have received. So much size, so much area, so much weight. And the thief has taken away precious little fine diamonds. You don't worry about that because the diamonds are small, so small, and the rock is large. You say, see, what a profitable deal I have cut. I'm a great businessman. I gave only this much and gained this much. You don't know how to value. You have gained the gross and given up on the subtle. For a few rupees, you have compromised on your freedom, on your essential peace. For some security, you have made a mess of your life. Your only life as this person, your only opportunity. And you have already lived more than half of your life. And I might be underestimating. Who knows whether you would live to see tomorrow's sun or not. So you have lived at least half of your life, maybe even 99%. But you won't wake up. You don't see that the life has already gone waste. To collect some food and clothes and such things. What are you giving up? And when I say food, I do not mean basic food. Basic food you have enough of. But desires, but ambitions, but dreams. And there are so many around you who would keep stoking your desires, who would keep fueling your dreams, who would keep showing you down if you are not an achiever. And because you do not listen to the truth, your punishment is that you'll have to listen to your neighbors. Because you would not listen to the teacher, your punishment is that you'll have to listen to advertisements and shopkeepers and your family members. And when you listen to them, what is it that you hear? You hear that you are a loser in life, a laggard, a nobody, and you should progress and achieve something, have a bigger bank balance, buy some more goods, get a few more vacations, and lead the good, respectable life. That's what you hear. Why do you allow yourself to hear all that? From where do you get the space to allow them in? The space of your mind is sacred. It should have been occupied only by the highest. Why did you allow these lowly voices to creep into your mind? Why did you allow them? Why do they figure in your circles at all? Why do you detect when they want to make their presence felt? Why can't you be simply oblivious to them? They are nobodies. They are actually nobodies. Why do you listen to them? But not only do you listen to them, you turn them into your gods. Your gods are the corporations. Your gods are the shopkeepers. Your gods are all the charlatans whose books you read. And they keep telling you, you can succeed, you can progress, you can do more. And you keep salivating at their bestsellers. And then you wonder, why do I keep trembling with fear? You keep trembling with fear because you listen to so many people. They keep pushing fear into your mind. Have some resistance. Surrender to truth is resistance to falseness. Just don't keep bowing down in front of anybody. You are important. You are the highest, really. Why do you need to allow cheapsters to dominate you? Only greedy people introduce greed in the other's mind. And it doesn't matter what the relationship of that greedy person is with you. If your very wife is asking you for more and more money, then you should avoid her company. Full stop. Would your wife help you in your moment of death? When you suffer, does she feel the pangs? Oh, theoretically, maybe yes. Poetically, maybe yes. But actually, you will get into all kinds of corruptions, corruption of the mind, and even legal corruption. And when you will be arrested and sent to the jail, will your wife go along with you? Will she say that all the wrongdoings were for me so that I could get a new necklace and shop in Dubai? Tell me. I meet thousands of people. So many of them are victims of money. And when I ask them, why do you do all this? They say, it is not for me. I'm a very selfless man. My own needs are so small. It is all for my daughter. She must pursue a medical course in the United States. And my wife, I just want to give her a luxurious home. Only 70 BHK. That's the little that she wants. Will all of them Save you? Do they even have the intention of saving you? Today, they are sinking you. And you hope tomorrow they will come to save you? Seriously? And this is something very, very inexplicable. The woman comes and I ask her, why have you allowed your life to become such a mess? And she says, it is just for my husband. If I don't do all these things, my husband gets hurt. So I'm doing all this for him. You are getting degraded day by day. Your rottenness is encroaching even upon your soul. This is the contribution of this husband in your life. And you are saying this is a relationship of love. You are saying you are doing all this in love. You are claiming this to be selflessness. I'm so sure if I ask you, why do you need all this money? What are these bondages you are talking of? Immediately, the others will come in the picture. Is that so or not? Sir, उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला. Do you know what that means? Hmm?
अकेले जाए
Hmm.
सब जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है bare minimum you have to leave all
Your fundamental responsibility is towards yourself. And then from that, all other responsibilities take care of themselves. How will a drunkard bring others to senses? If you are getting decayed every day, how will you build others' lives? Even to know the basic meaning of responsibility, you must first liberate yourself from this life. No scripture ever talks of responsibility, they talk of love. They talk of dharma. No scripture ever talks of kartavya. Do you know the difference between dharma and kartavya? When you do not know what your dharma is, then somebody comes and tells you, do this. You must do this. That is called kartavya. Kartavya, responsibility, is only for those who are blind towards dharma. But you keep talking of responsibility and never do you talk of dharma. If you go to your daughter and look at her as a responsibility, is it not very violent? Hmm? In the morning, if you make a cup of tea for your wife as responsibility, is it not violence? And there is another way of bringing that cup of tea to her, just in love, simply. But when you do it in love, then it cannot be a regular pattern. Then you cannot say at 6:30 every day, I have to make tea for madam. Sometimes you make tea, sometimes you don't make tea. Sometimes you may even cook a fabulous breakfast. Then it cannot be a load upon you. That's the difference between love and responsibility. That's the difference between dharma and responsibility. But dharma is dynamic and therefore dangerous. Responsibility is well set, frozen, within control, and therefore makes us feel secure. We feel we know responsibilities. Dharma you can never know. You can decide your responsibilities. Dharma you can never decide. Your dharma decides you, rather. You are the master of your responsibilities. Dharma is your master. So you don't like dharma. And who told you your responsibilities? Come on, tell me. How is it possible that everyone here confirms to almost the same set of responsibilities? On one hand, you all claim that we are individuals. You are quick to defend your personal spaces, aren't you? You will not allow someone to enter your kitchen or bedroom. Oh, these are personal spaces. Don't enter that little temple. I guard that. That's private. On the other hand, how is it possible that all of you feel the same kind of responsibility? Once I was talking to college students, and this college was full of very rebellious young students. At least 2,000 times a year, they would have a strike. That kind of crowd. It's cloudy today. Strike! Very particular about their individuality. The HOD said, come here. He said, come here. That's an assault on personal freedom, individual liberty. That kind of a college. So the students kept coming to me. Among other things, I would ask them, what is it that you are thinking of? And they would say, we are thinking of our careers. Okay, fine. What is it in your career that you're thinking of? That particular company. So I met 30 of them, 40 of them. And 90% of them were talking of somehow gaining entrance in the same company. So when the 50th one came, I said, tell me, how is it possible? Do all 50 of you love the same girl? Do all 50 of you wear the same color of underwear? Do all 50 of you eat exactly the same kind of food? Then how is it possible that all 50 of you want to gain admission in the same company? Your dreams are not your dreams. Your dreams are market driven. But you take them as your own personal individual dreams. They are not. And your dreams very quickly become your responsibilities. If you are dreaming, then you are responsible to work hard to realize the dream. So dreams lead to responsibilities. Who told you that it is your responsibility to do this much for this one and that much for that one and that much for that one? Who told you? Did you have this knowledge at birth? Is this knowledge the same across cultures and countries? Even in this country, the concept of responsibility as it exists today, is it the same as what it was 50 years back? Don't you see that it is all a product of the flow of time? It is all a product of some kind of fashion. It is just ideologically driven. It is something that keeps evolving. But you feel as if it is the certain truth. You feel it is immutable. You feel you are obliged to follow it because there can be no deviations from it. If you drop out, the sun would still rise. If you drop out, you'd still be able to breathe. That which you call as responsibility is not an essential part of life. You can drop it and still, rather, only then be joyful. When you drop responsibility, then you find that you are capable of loving. And in loving, you can do great things for others, but you do them in your fullness. You do them because now you want to share. In responsibility, you act from a very mean center. In responsibility, you act from a point of compulsion. In love, you act from a point of real freedom and real will. What you do in love is not the same as what you do in responsibility. It is not just wordplay. Responsibility is a burden. Therefore, your relationship with the other is violent. You'll not be able to give much to the other. You will destroy your life trying to give to the other, and your punishment will be that you will not be able to give much to the other. In love, you do not destroy yourself trying to give something to the other. In love, you give from your fullness. And you give so much that you forget to count. Responsibility always keeps accounts, always keeps listing. And that is why parents are always eager to tell their kids, this is what we did for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Obviously, none of that was done in love. Otherwise, how could you have kept a tab? If you're keeping a tab of these things, it surely means that you want to settle the accounts someday. You see, I gave you all these things. Now it's your turn. Love gives and counts not. Love gives and worries not, neither about itself nor about the other. Its function is to keep giving. It gives because it has so much. It gives because it has nothing else to do. The lover dies of boredom if he can't give. His own personal agenda has been completed. There is nothing personal left. So, what would he do? He can only give to others. That is his only business. So much of the mess, the deep rut we find ourselves in, is just because of this thing called others and our responsibility towards them. It's such a sham. So many of our volunteers, their parents would come and say, you know what? Our kids, by the way, they are not kids. Some of them are 30 plus. And even if they are just 20, you don't call them kids. That's an insult. They must be responsible. They must fulfill their responsibilities. They are just, beginning life. And they must do this and they must do that. My Chunnu is just 22. So one day I said, you are 72. Why don't you come? Vaporized. There was an ad I saw online. Act responsible. Book your grave. Responsibility does not end even with death. The fellow has arranged his funeral in advance. He has made the payment to event planners, and the event is immaculately designed, step by step. At 10:24, 20 seconds, you start weeping. At 10:26, 5 seconds, you stop weeping. Now it's your turn. It's your responsibility. After all, it's your funeral. And the prestige of your family is at stake.